Hi all. Right, well my decision was between 8 core and 7 core. Right. I made a comment in the last before we start, I made a comment in the last YouTube video about like try to keep your thoughts off camera, Grant. I know some of them are nice to, be heard what my thinking is, but I'll try a bit better. So yeah, big thinking was the fact that this unit is on his own in Ufi, and I think I mentioned last episode about bringing this cavalry unit in. I could get him 1-2 right in there to support, and I think that's a good idea. So, but the other concern was Havelange, and it took a hit there, and there's 2 single step units in there, so I thought about either putting, this is a single step unit, but I could actually break that guy out and back in, and tuck that one in there if really need be. So I'm just going to decide which one of the 2 moves is more important than the other. I mean, this could be a breakthrough if for some reason they took out the 2 units. That could be a breakthrough and a head towards the Muse. But as well as that, this is 5 victory points and could also be a breakthrough to the Muse. So, I mean, the odds that the units had were better here compared to here because the units are having to come across the river, but okay, I think I've actually decided this one's slightly more important. The 7 core. So, going to activate them, and I'm indeed going to bring this cavalry unit 1, 2, and then 3, 4 into Ufe. Hang on a sec. Yeah, I've just started thinking a bit of aggression. I was thinking about just moving one of these units. There's 3 of these units in here, obviously. One of the units maybe just into here, just across that river there. But then I started looking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could get them down to here. I've just moved that cavalry unit down, and we could have a go at this guy. Not only that, I've got an engineer's card in my hand. I could potentially use a combat tactic. Extra chip pool removes this IP. Extra 1 strength, isn't it? So, now one of these units is 5, so I either bring 9 down or 8. So 9 would make it 12, 8 would only make it 11. So it sounds like the 9 would be the better, Okay, let's just think this one out, just in case I'm going to change my mind, but he's going to start now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we'd have to stop there anyway as I'm moving adjacent to detachments. I don't see any issues with that though. So then if I wanted to attack with a 3 units, I'd be 12 against 2. With 1, 2, it's only 3 chip pools, isn't it? That's the problem, No elites involved. I've got the reinforced battle still, but I could bring the infantry unit in as well, but I started wondering if the army group card might have been a better use there, but you get a bonus combat tactic, and it can be a wild combat tactic, so air power is quite a nice choice, but that's all. It activates units in 1 core and any unit stacked with it, and I started thinking about, that's going to activate that guy, but it's not. It's when they activate. If I was to play the card now, and that's something else I was thinking about. If I played the card again, I would actually this would become an active unit as well because it's stacked with it. Um, so maybe better just sticking with the 7 core card to do this just now. Okay, I think I'm going to go with this. Try it. No other worry was if they start moving. Well, they're only going to get to here, so I'm going to be able to move back up the road to here. Which would be fine. Unless, of course, he moves. He might well be able to move like 4 or 5, leaving a detachment here. And then I would have to stop when I reached here. Well, we can't think of everything like that, Grant. It's either that or only put one of the armoured units down and leave one up there where I said. But then I'm only getting, 8 against 2, it'd be 41 odds, but I'm losing a chip pool. So I'd only get 2 chip pools plus the combat tactic that I would be playing the engineers, so it'd only be 3 chip pools. Whereas 61 odds with 4 chip pools is going to be better. Let's just go for this, Let's take a chance. Got to consider him drawing something too, right enough. Yeah, okay, I'm going to do this. So I think that's all my movement. So move the cavalry unit into there, 2 armoured units there, the gangways is just going to stay. Yeah. And so we're going to move on to combat, so allied combat. Let's see. Right, so I'm going to play this. So, the only use I had for this was the 2 10th armoured units in Bastogne, and I thought, use that, let them have attack, but it's like 7 against 4, they'd be drawing 2 chits. I can't play any combat tactics. I don't know, it just seems a bit wasteful, I think. Okay, so I'm going to play that for engineers. So just check on engineers again. As a combat tactic, I'd want the attacker's combat strength. In addition, remove an IP, and they can't play it. So ideally, that's what we're wanting them to draw. We want them to draw combat engineers, so they can't do anything with it. Okay, cool. So we add 1 to our strength. Now that was relevant, wasn't it? 9 to, oh no, it wasn't. Okay, I'll maybe switch the 2 units about then. I was forgetting. Hope that. Well, nothing's changed, has it? There's no new information. I'm as well leaving the 5 strength unit in wage because that's 8, 11, and I get 1 for the combat engineers, making it 12. The only thing was, if you were to consider another attack, talking about that 21st, that would add another 3, so that would be 8, 11, 14. Well, that's alright. 14, 15, does it matter? Right, so 11, 12 to 2, 61 odds. Great odds. Okay, and chip pools, unfortunately, 1, 2, 3, and then 1 for the combat tactics. That's the downside. 4. It is only a 1-step unit. No, sorry, it's not 1-step unit, it's a 2-step unit. 2 strength. Okay. What else I would want to add then? I know tank battalion, but that doesn't really help. In fact, it doesn't, it's just another chip pool. But right, okay, so I'm just going to go with that then. It's just a shame the chip pools aren't more really, but right, so now I'm going to draw a German card and chance of an undetected defender, but a combat tactic, so here we go. Okay, well, we did, like I say, they were going to come at some point. Now, that's going to give them artillery, but assault coordination is not going to apply, because that's only when you're attacking, isn't it? Yeah, so he doesn't get to soak up a hit with that. So, yeah, he's gonna get artillery though with that. But we do have to go through the procedure, and 8.1 rings a bell. So we need to bring the 8.2 it is, sorry. So we need to bring the reserves down. So there's 2 reserve units, one from the 58th, a 2 strength infantry unit, and then we get the 1st unit of the 53rd, which is a mechanised infantry. And then we shuffle. So hang on. So there's the 2 reserves that come down, and we only get, it's just the 1 card, dated the 20th, and it's obviously to bring this guy into play and make use of him. So it goes into the draw pile, and we shuffle that up, and then we go back up to our combat. That's all that's done there. Okay, so that's us. So we've got 6-1 odds, a maximum of 4 chip pools, minimum of 2, and he has artillery. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so we'll get the 2 and see where we stand. Oh, that's not good. I drew a flank attack to start with, and then we're not flanking this, and then I thought, I mean, whether I would have done this or not anyway, but this cavalry unit was here. You could have went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into here attacking there. Ah no, I'd seen that, no, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Because the armoured units had to end there. I thought then I could have brought one of the armoured units 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's not enough movement to get in there, so. Nah, I don't think I could have flanked anyway. Yeah, this is like, and then a defender adjacent. So we're sitting at D-1, A1. I'm gonna draw the other 2. I think I don't see it really. I mean, I need to get 2 D1s. Don't have to do anything. I'm taking a hat as well. They've got artillery. I probably shouldn't, should I? Oh, I'm just going to draw them. Part of me feels like I shouldn't. I'm just not going to make any odds, but there's no point going into these attacks. You're not going to try. And yeah, okay, let's do it. Yeah, that's pointless. Yeah, I got a weird shit. At least there was no more hits to me, I suppose. Which then would have then felt like you've been a bit foolish, Grant. But yeah, 1 hit to us. Yeah, I'm gonna take it on one of the armoured units, I think. Don't really want to put this guy in here and then he drops from a 4 to 3. They drop from a 4 to 3 as well. Sorry, he drops from a 3 to 2. Yeah, I'll keep the strength in. Makes more sense keeping the extra strength point and the 5 victory point town, I think, Grant. Well, worth a bash, was it? We shall see. Okay, so I think that's all we can do. There's no IPs we can build. I think that's our impulse over. Army group card, got that out of the way. Well, it's better coming as late as possible in the day. That's been about halfway through their cards, I think. So, yeah, so sort of in the middle there. Right. Okay. I'll clear them. Clear things up there, and hopefully get back with another German impulse just now. Oh, we'll get to draw. Oh well, you know what? We're going to draw. We've only got 1 card left in our draw pile, and we know what it is. It's the core artillery 1 or 5 core. So that's us. But we've still got the 21st Army group card, and if I did want to think doing that again and attacking, You know what I've now done though? Because that guy's taking a hit, I've got 7 strength, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 instead of 14 if I brought that down. That's because he took a hit. So, yeah, oh well, there you go. Okay, I'll tidy that up. I'll take a wee cut though, but hopefully we'll be back shortly, guys. Okay, cheers. Hi all. Right, I came back and thought I'd add this video in here. Had it all put together and that, but to be honest, there's been 2 or 3 wee blips in this part 6, I think it is. Yeah, part 6 of the 20th. So as you noticed, the wee comment there saying bit of a blunder within this combat. So I've kind of put things back. I've moved on a bit since, but I've just recreated where we were. So did you all spot the deliberate mistake? Well, it wasn't deliberate, but maybe it might have sneaked by some of you. I don't think so. I think John and Martin especially would have picked this up. Okay, so the situation was we were attacking here. We had 6-1 odds. 4. Right, this guy got reduced. So he was a 4 as well. 4, 8, 11. We played that for engineers to give us 12. Removing the IP that was on that unit, so giving us 6-1 odds. 4 chip pools for 1, 2, 3 units and the engineers combat tactics. So everything's all right there. And then the next part of the allied combat sequence, after I've played my combat tactics, is they get to draw for their combat tactics, and they draw this card. They draw the Army Group B card, and I'm like, okay. You got artillery and assault coordination, and then of course whenever you draw that card you've got to then go away and you take a pause, you go and get the reserves. This card is still like, as soon as you draw that you've got to do these things first. You go and bring the reserves out, you go and bring any reinforcement cards that are coming in. So we've got 2 reserve units, 1 reinforcement card, and then okay, I think that's my excuse is that throws you. You're going over the reserves and not maybe properly thinking about when you're drawing this card. But it's the first time it's actually came to anything, because when you draw the card, you draw 1 German command card if at least 1 German unit defending in the combat is in supply. Well, yes it is. And then we've got 3 bullet points, and the first bullet is if the card's formation matches that of any defending units, and the defending units are in reserve supply, this unit is in reserve supply, check for an undetected German defender. So there we go, that's the blunder. We should have checked for an undetected German defender, because looking under undetected German defender, it says for the Army Group B card, a unit is eligible. Now, hang on, sorry, I'll maybe need to go over the undetected German defender bit just first. So in step 3 of the allied attack, draw 1 German card for German from the German draw pile if at least 1 unit is in defending stat, is in supply. I've just all read all this, to be honest. If the formation on the card matches that of any of the defending units, and the defending units are in reserve supply, but we're showing they are, and possesses fewer than 4 steps in total, yes, he's only got 2 steps, check for an undetected German defender. So if there is a match, check to see if 1 unit in the German reserves unit box is eligible for placement as an undetected German defender. A reserve unit is eligible if, now if it was a division card we had drawn, it would have to be, the unit would have to be the same division. If it was a corps card, it would have to be the same corps. If it was an army card, it would have to be that same army. With preference given to the same division. Oh no, hang on. In the army, an army listed on the army cards, yeah. But for the Army Group B card, a unit is eligible if in the same army as the defending units, with preference given to unit in the same division, then the same corps. So I think it's the same. It's the same as the army cards, to be honest. I think. Yeah, briefly looking at that, it is. Well, if we look across in the reserve units box, Now, this unit's not here. Just imagine you've never seen him. These two units were brought in by the Army Group B card, so that's why you've got to apply that part first. So now this is part of the 5th Panzer Army, and that's what the 47th is. So this unit can actually come and become an undetected defender in that hex that's under attack. Okay, so this 58th Corps unit would come and join the 47th Corps in here because of the Army Group B card, and we wouldn't be applying the as a combat tactic. We use the card to bring in an undetected defender. So now we have 4 strength in this hex, and we were attacking with 12. So our odds would have been 3 to 1. Fortunately, everything in the combat is all good. Nothing has changed. They're the 4 chits that I drew, and nothing, even though in the back of these, is relevant to the odds being 3 to 1 compared to what did we have it at 6 to 1. So fortunately we got away with that part of it. But yeah, the army cards, I suppose they could catch out that way. They're not really showing the same division or corps. So, and the Army Group B card in particular, just makes me wonder if I've possibly missed that before, because I've certainly drawn it for. Yeah, it does make me wonder. I never really thought about it at all, and it was just looking back, and I just thought, oh wait a minute, undetected defender. So it, unfortunately, like I say, fortunately it didn't affect things. This unit, we still took a hit, and I took it on the unit underneath there. Yeah, it was a bit of a whiff. The attack was nothing. So fortunately there was no alteration to that there. But I'm sure you've all picked that one up. So I'll just leave it there and wait. Well, I'm going to slot this in just after the actual combat, I think, because I think it was the end of a part I was doing. So you'll see this in there, and then we'll just move on to the next German impulse, isn't it? Because this was an Allied impulse, that's right. Okay, guys, cheers. Hi all. Right on with the next German impulse. Okay, let's see what we got. Second SS. 7th Army. Yeah, they're all flowing now. So that'll be the primary, and that'll be the support card. That might actually be quite good again though. And admittedly the 7th Army is not the best of the bunch, but anyway, there's no event, 7th Army card, and we've got to activate the second SS. Okay, so this looks like this could be the start of them possibly closing in on Liège. Right, let's have a look. Okay, second. Oh, there's a card. Here it is. Oops. Right, second SS. So we're going to activate all units in the corps. They're in stack of 3 there, stack of 3 there, and then this single unit here. There's no roadblocks adjacent to any of the units. Their army objective is there. That's actually the 3rd placement of that as well, so it's not a case of being within 2 approximate. We've got it to actually reach that hex before it then moves or does something different. Yeah, and then it moves to hex 0139, which is up on the 0139. Ooh, is that a misprint? 0139. You know, that's not on the map, so there's something odd about that. I seem to remember somebody posting something in the forums about that, or I think it'd be in the errata, I don't know. Oh, well, you know what? Until we reach the hex, let's not bother about that. Okay, it was bothering me still though, so I went and had a look. Yeah, it is in the errata, it says it should be 0129. rather than 0139, which it states, so it was obviously just a misprint. Okay, doke. So it's staying put anyway. So let's see what's going to happen with these guys. Okay, first move I can see is a bit an odd one, really, and it's a wee bit of a shame for the Germans, I feel. Movement method 2, closer objective next VP hex. This unit here, none of them can go adjacent to layers, and I'm glad I looked back on that one, and because I figured both these hexes were the VP hexes. I kind of thought I'd read somewhere you had to take both of them, so would have considered this as adjacent to VP hex, but that's not the only confirmation I got of that. It was way back, but nothing else had been talked about. This is the VP hex. Although both these hexes are city hexes, this is a VP hex. So, because the river's there, we can't get into this hex or this hex to get adjacent. So none of them can do that. But this unit can actually get down to Ufe. None of the others can, because you can only just make it by going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can only reach this hex. He's got to be adjacent to Ufe, and he's only 4 hexes away from his army objective, whereas he's 6 away at the moment. So, it's the odd unit that's not got a division or anything. 1, 2, 3. So, can it do anything clever? No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the only hex it can reach. Yeah, so it's closer to its army objective and it's adjacent to an allied VP hex, so it's going to move there. Like I say, the other stack, they're 1 hex short, they can't get down there, so. Okay, we're straight on to 10 to 13 with the rest of these guys. None of them, they're not infantry, so looking at unit 1 here. Now, where are the arrows? Coming back this way. So 1, 2 into Verviers, 3, I guess is, yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Yeah. Now that is going to move them adjacent to an allied unit. I don't think they're going to have another option here. Because if they can avoid moving adjacent to an allied unit, they want to do that too, but yeah, they don't have an option at all. It's all primary arrows. There's no secondary arrow option, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're all going to end up moving there. Yeah, and then because they're adjacent to an allied unit, they're not. Well, I say they're all going to do that. Well, that's unit 1, 2. Is it 1, 2, and 3 then? Okay, it is. So, unit 1, 2, and 3 are going to move to there, and then let's say because they're adjacent to an allied unit, they can't extend that at all. But well, they're where they want to be, aren't they? Probably. Okay, so let's look at the next ones. Well, they'll not be able to, because arrows are obviously 1, 2, and that would stop them. So they're not going to be able to move the arrows. So 1, 2, 3. I'm assuming we've got 4, 5, 6 here, haven't we? So unit 4 on the top. Let's have a look. Yeah, so they're all going to move with a movement method 11 closer to army objective. They can get adjacent to an allied unit though. So they're just going to have to get the tiebreakers, which, well, they want to get as close to their army objective. I think these are the 3 hexes they can get to. This one's just jumping across the river. This one's 1, 2, 3 to here, and then 5 into there. This one's got to come out because, well, to be honest, they're all 1 hex closer to their army objective, every one of them. But these 2 are western than that, and then the tiebreaker between, once you get to if there's 2 western, it then goes northern. So pretty sure that's where they're going to go to. Yeah, all just going to jump across the river. Yeah. That kind of sets them up for the next time, though. Yeah, I think that's okay. Looks like I've left a detachment there now. I wasn't thinking about detachments at all there. And I think the other units moved from there, didn't they? No. Or was it here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they must have been there, Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it then. So, combat checks. Well, we've got one on the Liège, and we do have a assault coordination. So yeah, that one in Ufe needs to be checked as well. Actually, then. Okay, give me a sec. Okay, so check in selector number 1 first. Right, we do have assault coordination, but don't have reserve units. Assault coordination isn't going to help here, so they are 14. Now it's not across the river. That's not across the river there. So it's 14-3, but this unit's in a city, so it's 14-6. And then we have it's not got an IP it's adjacent to supplied allied unit, so that's 14-7, and that's it. So yeah, so let's have 2-1 odds. So yeah, there's a chance of this one. So 2-1 odds, and modifiers. Well, they're both elite, aren't they? Defenders elite as well, so that's not going to count. It's not an army group card. Support card shows applicable combat tactic. Yes, because it's got artillery and assault coordination. So there's a -1 to this die roll. 2-1 odds. So let's see what we get. Oh, and it's a 1. Oh dear. Okay, so that's going to be a 0. So that's a goal, eh? Yeah, that's not even a think about it. That's a do it. Okay, interesting here. So it's going to go ahead. Right, give me a sec. Okay, so we're going to draw a combat tactic, and they get. Oh, it's the first SS card though. Right, that's artillery. I think that's probably good for us though. I know that means that they're now not going to use the 7th Army card out of the support card box because of the confirmed rule that we got cleared up recently. Because that matches obviously one of the combat tactics on the army card. But that's starting to make more sense to me now. I'm glad that came back that way, because it did feel like a waste. Because the only time you wouldn't be able to use the support card if you happen to draw another army card that matched the 2 combat tactics. So I kind of like that actually. I'm glad that's came back with that result, after not feeling good about it at the time, but there you go. Okay, so artillery, but I think the good thing is we've got a first SS card out of the way. I'm pretty sure there's supplemental cards to come as well, but okay, so artillery for them. So they won't use the support card. There's no reserves. So let's just work out the odds. So what did I say we had? We had 14-3, didn't we? And they're all weights. Oh yeah. Oh no, so yeah. So I'm wondering about how is it 14-3? It's not. It's 14-6. But he was getting a boost situationally by so it's 14-6, which is still just 2-1 odds, yeah. The 2-1 odds. Stretch up the table, and so chip pools, it'll be 3 for the units, 1 for elites 4, 1 for the artillery combat tactics 5. So not too many chits. Possibly enough to be of a concern. Odds only 2-1. Yeah. This is starting to look like a bit of a mistake what I've just done here, isn't it? I should have probably popped one of the armoured units into here to help that guy, maybe even one of them there. And okay, in hindsight, bring them down to attack. Okay, so now we get the chance to play a combat tactic. So let me have a look. Kind of limited. Tank Battalion's the 8 core card, which I kind of wanted to use. And I've just realised that would only make it 14 to 7. It would give me armour, but it wouldn't reduce the odds. The other one's the core artillery that I've just used, but they're plain artillery, so that's a bit of a gamble. Reinforced battle I can't do because it can only be 3 strength I've reinforced with. And I don't want to use that card either, so then it's only the 21st Army Group card, which you can use for any combat tactic, but I think it's going to be down to just do I play the artillery or not. And they've still got quite a lot of cards left in their draw pile. In fact, I think when I counted it, when I shuffled the new card in, I think they had 14 cards. And we've got 4 in our hand at the minute. Nothing in the draw pile, obviously, but so it's quite an important hex. It's not as important as the next one, but yeah, still thinking here. I'm just thinking out loud. Just realised that because the second SS units are moved into there, it stops these first SS units activating and moving in to do anything because the stack's full now. Okay, we've just seen their primary card getting used as a combat tactic, but I'm pretty sure we've not seen either of their cards. I could be wrong. I'm not going to go through the discard pile now because Martin's really made that one a no-no for me. So, the other thing is I'm pretty sure we've got this secondary. I'm more sure about that one. We've got the secondary card for the second SS to come, which means they may well move into here and have another go at that. So, I'm just thinking about what might happen. Might be worthwhile just taking my chances with this one, because if they do activate again, they're going to come in with a stronger force, and maybe if I do have a combat tactic then. So 2 to 1 odds, 5 chip pools. We're in the city, so we get to reduce 1. So if we took D2, we could just sit there and take the hit. Maybe. Or D3 and then I'll just retreat. If they've only got that half of the city, the river's in between as well, which makes it even better. It's quite a strong city, that really, isn't it? I don't think I've ever taken it as the Germans anyway. No, I don't think so. Okay, I'm just going to have one last think about it. Yeah, I'm just going to take my chances. The only combat tactic we play would be artillery, and they're played artillery as well, so there's a gamble with that, but we'll see. So 2 to 1 odds, right, 5 chip pools, right, here they come. Oh my god, look, I had to show you the first chit I drew. Defender artillery priority. Oh, that makes me mad. So they get our attacker artillery. Right, I've got the other 5 in my hand, okay. Sorry, 4. Okay, what was I worried about? A couple of odds chits there, I think. Well, I don't know what they were in the front, but they weren't even good enough for them on the back. And then we got a city chit, which is what I was hoping for. And then finish with a nice, I think this is 91 on the front, less than 41 on the back, so going to be a hit to themselves. We cancelled out the hit that they gave us with artillery, but we were soaking up 1 as well, so just 1 of them, which, you would expect that to hold, really, being in the city, but you never know. I think when these units move in and have a go again, there's a risk of a different result. So 1 hit to them, which is nice. So I think they've got a 4 strength. They've got 2 5 strength ones and a 4 strength one. So he's obviously the high selector number, so he gets reduced from a 4 strength to a 3. So I'll just show you that's him down the bottom. So, and that was elite units as well, so that was quite cool. So that's the one hit, and we held on there. But there's going to be more to come, because the first SS units are standing by as well, but there is a bit of a sort of gridlock, isn't there? Okay, let's look at the next possible. Oh no! Oh yeah, we do. The one in Ufe is possible because the support card's still there, so assault coordination's still there. Okay, so let's see what he's got. He's got 2. Yeah, it's against 6, but these are coming across the river in that way. But the assault coordination does count the unit he's stacked with and the other units round about. So, well, let's see what we've got across the river. That's 7 across the river, and that would be another 5. So that's 12 across the river. So that's 6, and then full 2. So 8. It's 8 to 6. Yeah, it's going to probably just be 1-to-1 odds. Well, I could say any doubt about that, Grant. 8 to 6, and then he's going to get a +1 for being adjacent to supply. Do you know that? So 8 to 7. Yeah, that's going to be that. So that is 1-to-1. Just spin up there for the dice. So 1-to-1. Oh, and what do we have? Any modifiers? The support card, yeah. Oh, are they actually elite? I think the infantry's elite, innit? Yeah, it is. Yeah. So we get -1 for the support card showing applicable combat tactic, and that's it. So 1-to-1 odds with -1. 4 knocks it to a 3. Cancel off less than 1.5-to-1, or attacking from 1 hex. Yeah. Yeah. So we needed a 1 or a 2, because we were getting a -1, weren't we? Yeah, we needed a 2 at least. So yeah, that's a no-go. Yeah, that's going to be that. Check made the arm. Well, we had an attack there. Check the arm. These units just moved across the river. So that's impulse done. Oh, I'm forgetting. Yeah, we've got another one to come, haven't we? Okay, so the 7th Army card's now going to become a command card. So I'll move the camera down. I'll fix the units and move the camera down, and we'll see what we've got. Okay, so we're going to be down in this neck of the woods. So we're going to activate 7th Armoured Unit with the most non-bracketed 7th Armoured Units within 2 hexes, and all those units. Activate reserve units in the same core, that should be, as active units. Use artillery tactic with all attacks. There's no... there is a 7th Armoured Unit, but they're not... no. Yeah, they're not on the board yet, so it would have to be one of their core that was getting activated. Because we do have this guy now, he's from the 7th Armour, but none of them are on the board. Well, he's the only one that's appeared. He's in the reserve units box, so... yeah, no, he won't be able to come on. And there's no... It's just the 80 core and the 85th core that we've got, so there's none of them in the reserve units box. Okay, so I'll go and see what I think's going to be the centre of the activation. Right, okay, it's reasonably straightforward. It's either here, there's 2 units here, so if I pick here, you're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's only 1 unit here. So it's just on the camera. I've got it tilted at a funny angle so I can get my arm round. 6, but this guy as well activates 6. He gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I didn't include himself. Okay, and the tiebreaker between these two is it says if two or more units of the same number of units within 2 hexes, use the unit furthest from the army objective's hex as the centre of the activation. That is saying army objective hex, because this is like, yeah, I think this one works, yeah. So this one is 1 hex further away to the army objective than what this unit is. So it's going to be this guy that is the centre of activation. I'll just try and put a cube there on him. He's got an IP as well, but yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, so that's definitely the centre of the activation. So we're getting this guy, these two, this guy and this guy. Okay, so no robots adjacent. Their army objective, just had a look, there's nothing proximate or within 2. So that's staying where it is. Now, the 80 core units have a core objective in here. It's just on the edge of the camera. Okay, I can probably move it a little bit just to make sure. So that's their core objective. That's more than likely none of them are going to move, to be honest. But it does, with the movement methods, you activate them first, don't you? Yeah, we check the core objective ones before checking any other units. So for instance, this is selector number 2. Well, actually this is selector number 1. So, but anyway, we're not checking any of the 85th core units until we've moved these guys. And I say move these guys because they're not going to move. He's going to stay where he is. That's unit 3. He's going to stay, and yeah, they're all going to stay because they want to move to the closest allied unit, and they're already there. So I don't think there's any even motivation to try and get him across the river, is there? I don't think we can do any of that. Yeah, no. Well, actually, hold on. Yeah, no, I think I've been through this one before, because tactical adjustments, they say these adjustments apply to all movement methods in which a German unit is moving adjacent to an allied unit. Yeah. So, yeah, we've been through this one before. The unit actually needs to move adjacent to then adjust tactically. Yeah? It can't be adjacent to then say, oh, right, well, I can get across here though. So, as far as I'm aware anyway. Okay, so none of them are moving. So, and then we've got unit 2. So now we need to look at the main movement methods. Yeah, it's probably unlikely they're going to move as well. But yeah, I suppose I need to go through the procedure. Yeah, there's no way this guy can go. He's also adjacent to VP Hex, so if he's going to go anywhere, he's got to end adjacent to the same VP Hex. With a restriction, you know, so nah. And unit 8 is keeping this guy surrounded as well, so yeah, there's no movement this guy can make either. He's keeping this guy surrounded, but arrow moves and all that. Yeah, there's nothing happening. So it's mainly to check if there's going to be any attacks. Now there is quite a lot of units around this armoured unit now, obviously. So well, be looking. This will be a lead unit check on this guy, and he'll get support from this, and this. No reserves, no assault coordination. But let us see. So we've got 5 and another 4, 9, not across the river, and then we've got this. So I know this is kind of blocked off. It's 2 armoured unit. So we've got 4 cut in half, so 2. So what did I say? 9 to 11. So 11 to 3. And then, he's in a force as well, isn't he? So in a force, gives him a +1. 11 to 4. He's adjacent to supplied allied unit. 11 to 5. And that's it. So there is 2 to 1 odds, and 2 to 1 odds. Okay. Where's my books? I should squeeze that in there, shouldn't I? Oops. 2 to 1 odds. Modifiers. Well, this is an army card. Well, actually, is there elites? No. There's no elites, no. But it is an army card, so there's a -1 there. There's no support card. So we have 2 to 1 with a -1. 9, right. Probably not then. That's 8. Yeah, cancel less than 3 to 1. Okay, cool. Right, so now, got to watch, so there is, I've already got quite out of this before, and Martin reminded me of that. So that's us check that as a lead unit. However, the next unit in line is going to be the number 2. He's by himself. He's not getting the support of this unit this time, because he was outside the range of the sort of camp group thing. So you can only check here, but that's 5 against 2. And he's getting a +1 for being an allied unit being adjacent, so that's 5 against 3. So that's only kind of 1.5 to 1, maybe, isn't it? That's all I want. There's got to be a -1 to that as well, though, because it's this army card. There's no elites involved there either, is there? In fact, he's a green unit, but that doesn't come into it. So, right, I think it's 1.5 to 1, well, -1. Oh, right, see that, it's a 2 though. Oh, can we see it? I'll need to bring. There's a 2. Do you trust me? Okay, so that's a 1. So cancel if only defender elite or only defender armor. Well, that's not the case. So we're going to have a combat here, I think. Yeah, okay, so attack on this unit here. So let's draw a combat tactic. Oh, would you look at that? Well, mind you, like I said, we had kind of blocked off the route for them, but however, there was other ones back in Verviers. I'm sure they would have moved and got involved somehow. Right, that's reinforced battle. Ooh, yeah, I think this could happen actually. Just looking at, let's maybe just off the, zoom out a little bit. Just initially looking at this guy here, 1, 2, 3, he can come and join. Well, 1, 2, 3, we don't want to go in that hex actually. So yeah, let me just look at that again. Yeah, I think this is the only guy that can be involved, but it's quite handy for them really, because he's sitting and not doing an awful lot. So he can go 1, 2, and then 3 into here. Obviously wanting to prefer the empty hex. No, need to remember he was reinforced battle unit. Sorry, this guy should be, because he's attacking anyway, isn't he? Right, so there we go. So we've got 8 against 2. Now there's no support card. There wasn't any reserves. So 8 against 2, so he's getting 4 to 1 odds. And chip pool wise, he's going to get 1, 2 for the units, 1 for the 4-step units, 3, 1 for the reinforced battles, 4. Yeah, 4 to 1 odds, 4 chip pools. Not too shabby. So now, do we want to play a combat tactic? Well, probably not. We don't. it's, with the problems we've got elsewhere and the worries, the concerns about Liège and Havelange and Ufe, you know, it's not a nice thing to say, but we don't really care so much about down here. I mean, Ettelbruck has 2 victory points, but this isn't Ettelbruck. So maybe if it was there. So I think we're probably just going to have to take our chances. You know, the only thing we would do is artillery again, probably, because I don't want to use that 8 core card. I just don't feel like it's worth it. I mean, yeah, it is going to mess with the whole supply of these units, but I think they're in trouble from the get-go, really. Okay, I'm just going to go with this. So we're going to get 4 chats at 4-1 odds. So here they come. Okay, I've just pulled the first chat and I've got the other 3 pulled already, but I just thought, oh, right, there's an artillery, and then I've just remembered that the 7th Armour card, the 7th Army card, you get artillery with all the attacks. So that's a bad start. He's getting a D1 right away, so I'd forgot about it initially, but oh, wait now then, that's an extra chip pool, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Sorry, my bad. So 2 units, 1 for the 4-step units, 3, and then reinforced battle and the artillery. That's 5. Right, okay, so I've got 4 pulled. I'll get the other 1 and I'll set them out. Well, that's rotten. 2 artilleries mean even if I'd played the artillery, he would have got priority in this one, I would have got priority in that one, but I think it's probably an A hit, which is not really what I was. We've got 1 hit on him, but I get the feeling we might have hits left over. I don't know exactly. Hang on, because that's D4, isn't it? I'm only a 1-step unit. Yeah, I know I should be able to say right away if this guy's dead, but you can see what my math's been up to now, so I'll work it out slowly, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is toast, isn't he? Because he's only 1 step. He soaks up 1 for the town, that's 3. Then retreat, and takes the last one as a step loss. Yeah, he's gone. Well, actually, that's using up them all, so it does mean Germans have got to take a hit, isn't it? Is that right? 4, knocked down to 3 for the town. Then retreat 1. I wouldn't have to take a step loss because I can retreat into. Well, I would retreat here, wouldn't I? And then retreat again. That takes me down to 1, and then the last one is a step loss. So at least the Germans have a hit to take, but unfortunately, the guy's gone. So German's going to take. Now, is it? I think he takes it on the 4-step unit, doesn't he? Give me a sec. Yeah, because it's a 4-step unit, he prioritises that. Which kind of makes sense, I suppose. So he knocks down to a 3-step, 4 strength. And that takes their hit. Now, so advance after combat was going to be into a town, so probably I've got to remember this guy reinforced the battle, so he can't advance. So it's only that guy. Well, can I not just deal with that right now, Graham, and just move him into that town, which I think is going to happen. Forward, is it? Yeah, it's his primary route, and it makes sense. And yeah, he's going to take this town. Unless there's a restriction. Hold on, that's a point. Yeah, no, I think it only kicks off on the 22nd because I'm realising that we're moving into a surrounded hex here. But it's hang on a sec. Okay, frustratingly, I've just looked at that just as I stopped recording. Well, when I stopped recording, I was actually still recording, and I've got muddled up with my pause and my record. So I was pausing when I should have been recording when I should have been pausing. So it's messed up the very last bit of this video. I think I was here, and I'd advance after combat this unit here, and if I recall rightly, the cut should be that I was away checking if it was allowed to do that, because this is a surrounded hex, and it is. On the 22nd, you can't advance after combat, and if it's going to be a surrounded hex, unless it's got a whole value of 4 or greater. Well, this one has 4, but however, it's still not the 22nd. So that was right, wasn't it? That was the restriction, yeah. So I was just double checking that. So I got that now. Where was that? Because I've done a couple of things after that. So that was unit. We had done a check with unit 1 on this guy. That failed. Because I wanted to go through this, because this was quite good. This was the bit Martin had brought up recently and that I had missed, and it's quite a good rule. So that was unit 2 we checked, and he made an attack, and we got the reinforced battle. So then we're looking at unit 3. Now, oh god, have I not... God, I must have missed all this as well. Right, so this unit's already been checked, but unit 3 can check this unit or this unit. And he's going to get support from this unit and this unit on this one, and this unit on this one. So obviously the odds are going to be better checking this unit. That's right, okay. Now, I've already rolled dice for these guys because I thought I was recording it and I've not been. They all failed. It's very low chance of it, so can we just leave it at that rather than me try to roll dice again and causing even more trouble? So that would be 4, and then that's 2 across the river. That's 5 against 3, but he gets +1 for the forest, +1 for the adjacent allied unit. So it's 5 against 5, so it was 1-to-1 odds. I believe I rolled a 3 with that, because I was getting a -1 for the army card, and I rolled a 3, but I needed to roll a 2, wasn't it? Where are we? I needed to roll... Right, I'm all at the top. Where am I? Yeah, because I had 1-to-1 odds, so I needed a 1 or less, really, but a 2 would have given me a -1. But I rolled a 3. I'm not going to roll the dice again. You're just going to have to believe me with that one. It's not a huge big deal anyway. So there was no attack on that. But it's a shame that happened, because then I can then look at this unit. Now, this unit was the lead unit, but this one's not been the lead unit. So he can now look and check. He can't check that or that because they've both been checked. But this one's not been checked yet. So he can have a check on that. And the unit he's with can support him, even though he was a lead unit checking the last one. So this is checking on our unit. So it would be 4 against 3. 4 against 4 again, because he's adjacent to an allied unit. So the odds are 1-to-1 again. And this time I rolled a 5, I believe it was. It was still too high. And again, the odd, it needed to be a 2 to get the -1 from the army card to make it an attack. So hopefully you can believe that that's what the dice roll was, rather than me rolling them again and actually rolling a 1 or a 2 and going, oh no, I've got to do more here. Yeah, so that was that, and so that was all the attack checks made. But then I also realised that, going back to the activation part, step 6 was that one of these units, well, check in ascending order, so unit number 3 stacked to another unit could be removed to the reserves, and it turns out he is able to do that. It's 9.6, is it? And he's got to have all the following apply. The unit did not move or attack. Well, although they'd done attack checks, they never moved. They'd done attack checks, but they didn't actually attack, so that's fine. The unit was not placed on the map from the reserves, that's correct. The unit is adjacent to an allied unit, it is. The unit can trace reserve supply So remember, reserve supply has got to be tracing into hex. It's not, you can't trace into that hex with reserve supply because there's an allied unit adjacent, even though there's a German unit there, but you can trace into here, and away. And the last one is the removal unit from the hex would leave at least 2 steps in the hex, 3 if it was a VP hex. Well, we take this guy away, we're still leaving 2 steps in that hex, and he goes in the reserves. And obviously now we can't check that guy because there needs to be at least 2 units in the hex for the last part of that to apply, so can't do that. And then the last thing was that because none of these units actually moved or attacked, again did I put them back in the thing? Oh, that was silly. Again, they done attack checks, but none of them actually moved or attacked. So, although this guy's got an IP, this guy can build an IP, this guy's in a forest can build an IP, and also this guy can build an IP. So that was that. Yeah, and it's a shame that last part that got all muddled up. I've done that once before actually. I must have pressed the button or thought I'd pressed it and I hadn't. So then I thought I was paused, went away and done my thing, and then come back, and then of course you get in a cycle of pressing it on when you think it's off and vice versa. So okay, so all good. So the 7th Army card's done. That's our impulse over. I'll tidy this up, and this will become the very last part of the next part, actually, I think. So I've got 2 more videos I'm going to be uploading soon, but you'll just see them when you see them. Okay, so I'll tidy things up here, and we'll get back when I would impulse the next chance I get, guys. Okay, cheers.